On November 2nd, the new X-Men film Dark Phoenix will continue to tell the story of the younger versions of our favorite mutants. What you can expect from Dark Phoenix will be discussed in this video.
Unleash your power! Let go, Jean!
But please be aware that this video will contain spoilers regarding the comic books and possibly address major plot elements from the upcoming film. You have been warned.
This can't be! I am Phoenix!
The beginning, the Phoenix Force. During a rescue mission in space, the shuttle of the X-Men is heavily damaged. Jean Grey attempts to use her abilities to stabilize the ship. During this heroic act, she is blasted with a deadly amount of cosmic radiation. Determined to save her friends, she calls for help.
Someone help me!
Which does arrive in the form of the Phoenix Force. The Phoenix Force is a cosmic being. She is the immortal manifestation of the universal life energy itself. The Phoenix Force embodies the origin of all life in the universe. This is why this being can become a great danger as well. It is able to destroy entire galaxies. This life form that has traveled the galaxy is now responding to Jean Grey's distress call, enters her body, and gives her the ability to save her fellow X-Men. With these new powers, Jean changes her name to Phoenix.
I am Phoenix!
With the help of Professor Xavier, she learns to contain this incredible power.
Phoenix. Am I Phoenix?
Dark Phoenix. Her deeds as the Phoenix draw attention to the Mastermind, a villain who is capable of creating telepathic illusions. He manipulates the Phoenix into thinking that she is in fact the so-called Black Queen, leader of the sinister Hellfire Club. His plan succeeds. The Phoenix is seduced by evil, and the Hellfire Club manages to capture the X-Men. During a psychological battle, the Mastermind presumably kills Cyclops, Jean's boyfriend. Upon witnessing that, the Phoenix snaps and releases the full extent of her powers. She changes her name into the Dark Phoenix, defeats the X-Men, and retreats into space.
I am the Dark Phoenix!
Her journey through space exhausts her so much that she needs to feed on energy, which she does by sucking the life out of a star. The supernova created as a result of it obliterates a close by and fully inhabited planet in its entirety. An intergalactic council determines that the Dark Phoenix has become too much of a danger to be left alive. The Shi'ar Empress Lilandra is asked to kill her. In the meantime, the Dark Phoenix has returned to Earth, where she and Jean battle over the control of the shared body. Jean's love towards the X-Men and especially towards Scott, aka Cyclops, shines through, but the Dark Phoenix constantly tries to fight the mutants. With his last strength, Charles Xavier manages to contain the power of the Phoenix, which causes Jean to return.
Hi, Four Eyes.
Hi yourself, Tiger.
The army of the Shi'ar has however reached Earth and tells the X-Men about the Dark Phoenix's deeds. Jean's fate shall be determined by combat. A fight between the X-Men and the Shi'ar is scheduled to take place on the moon. It seems like Lilandra and her Shi'ar forces have the upper hand as they defeat one X-Men after the other. After Scott is nearly killed in the battle, Jean loses her control once more and unleashes the Dark Phoenix. Lilandra is now determined to execute Plan Omega, a failsafe that would destroy the entire solar system in order to kill the Dark Phoenix. In a last desperate attempt, the X-Men manage to contain Dark Phoenix once more. Thanks to Xavier, Jean returns, who sacrifices herself in order to save the solar system and her friends.
You've got your justice, Lilandra. The universe is safe!
The death of Jean Grey. Initially, that is where the story regarding Phoenix and Jean Grey concluded. Jean Grey was actually supposed to die, but the plot has been altered ever since. After the Phoenix Force saves Jean in her destroyed shuttle, she puts the dying Jean in a healing cocoon. Right after that, the Phoenix Force becomes Jean Grey herself. Thus, the Phoenix only sacrifices the shell of Jean Grey before escaping in space again. The real Jean Grey is later found by the X-Men.
My time here has ended. I must depart.
Dark Phoenix in film. X-Men: The Last Stand already dealt with the Dark Phoenix saga, but fans were left frustrated with this rather dull interpretation. The cartoon series adapted the story much more accurately. Frequent X-Men writer Simon Kinberg is now set to bring this story to the big screen. Set in the 1990s, the film will take place after the events that unfolded in X-Men Apocalypse. This is why the film will feature the return of several cast members, including Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, James McAvoy, and of course Game of Thrones' Sophie Turner as Jean Grey. New addition Jessica Chastain will portray Lilandra.
Are you the child of the crystal?
Yes.
You are the phoenix the legend spoke of.
Possible link to the MCU. Since December, it's official. Disney bought 20th Century Fox and now owns the X-Men as well. These properties can now be introduced in the MCU as well. The Phoenix Force may be a way to achieve that. This being could encounter the Avengers after battling Thanos in space, thus building the bridge to the X-Men franchise. Another interesting aspect is the fact that Jean ends up sacrificing herself in the Dark Phoenix saga by using a Kree weapon. Ronan the Accuser, a member of this alien race, has already been introduced in Guardians of the Galaxy, and Captain Marvel will continue to focus on the Kree. In the upcoming film, Carol Danvers experiments with Kree technology, which leads to an accident that mixes her DNA with that of the Kree. Since Captain Marvel is set to take place in the 90s as well, it is possible that it will be linked to the X-Men films. The weapon that Jean used to sacrifice herself with could be the piece of technology that Carol Danvers works with.
Now, I thirst for more!
Are you looking forward to the Dark Phoenix? And what is your favorite X-Men film? Let us know in the comment section below. And for more original content, check out these videos.